Today is January 3rd, so we're in Proverbs chapter 3. I hope that you've been reading along with us. If not, that's perfectly fine. Just pick up here in Proverbs chapter 3. We're reading a chapter a day and then just kind of giving some things that God has taught us through the chapter. So if you've not read Proverbs chapter 3 yet, go ahead and pause this video. Go and read Proverbs chapter 3. Don't worry about catching up on days you missed. Just read today's, get in the habit of daily reading, and then you can come back and you can finish watching this video and you can leave a comment with something God has taught you. So as I read Proverbs chapter 3, I see a lot of the blessings of God in this chapter. Verse 2, it talks about wisdom, and following wisdom will give you length of days and years of life. Verse 4, we see you'll find favor and good success. Verses 9 and 10, especially verse 10, says your barns will be filled with plenty. You'll have a lot. Verses 14 and 15 talk about the advantages of wisdom being better than silver and gold, better than precious jewels. Verse 16, again, long life for those who make wise decisions. Verse 33, there's the Lord's curse on the wicked, but he blesses the righteous. So there's a lot of this blessing. If you follow after God's wisdom, you'll have blessing. And of course, we wrestle with this a little bit because sometimes we're following God's will and we don't feel blessed. But I think that's where we mix in the prosperity gospel to our detriment. This is not teaching that if you seek after God and are obedient, you'll be rich and healthy and live a long life and everything will go well. As a matter of fact, we see maybe a different picture. It's not that everything's going to go great, but in that famous verse in Proverbs 3, 5 and 6, if we trust in the Lord with all our heart, he'll make our paths straight. Doesn't mean they'll be easy. That means he'll guide and direct them. We'll know exactly where to go. That's the blessing that we receive. As a matter of fact, this wisdom we get actually comes from God himself. And that's why there in verses 19 and 20, it says it's by wisdom the Lord founded the earth. It's the wisdom of God that God created things. God's wisdom is what makes him creative. It also, by the way, in his wisdom, is what brought our salvation and cost his son. Wisdom came with a cost and a price. That's why we read like in verses 11 and 12, not that everything's always great, but with wisdom, there's discipline and difficulty and struggle. So as we seek the Lord's blessing and wisdom, and we're not necessarily hoping or expecting wealth and health and prosperity on this earth, but instead that God would direct us and teach us how to live and tell us how to live and guide and correct our lives.